somewhere along the lines that gets stripped away from us. You know what I'm saying? But it goes back to what you were saying, about utilizing our gifts and to help people. Like I remember, I think it was in James where it talks about, if you pray for something, if you lack something, pray for it. If you don't get it, it's probably because you're praying for it in vain. Like you're praying for it to basically utilize it in a way in which it's not beneficial to other people. You want to consume this upon your own lust. Like you don't want to utilize this gift to benefit others. You want to use it to stun on people or to be better than the next person. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about humility. Like humility, man, there are different degrees of it. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? And when you get in a mode of helping people, and when I say helping people, you've reached a certain point in your life where helping people is just something you do and
It's
you don't really
yeah.
think twice about it.
It's a
Then
lifestyle.
right, it's a lifestyle, then you've reached a certain point. You know what I'm saying?
You're in a
And
good position. You're in a good
right,
place.
right. That's the point you want to get at. You look up throughout your day, oh man, I ain't getting nothing done. Oh man, I helped this person. Or I took the time out to go help this person with this. Or I did this. Oh yeah, I had a pretty good day. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about, like the scriptures say, loving your neighbor as yourself. And if you're loving your neighbor as yourself, then whatever gifts you have, it's gonna go toward the community. But
Mm.
like today, society is set up just to whereby like everybody's looking out for themselves, putting themselves first. And like I said, people not even want to function in their own gifts. People looking at what other people got going on and trying to imitate. You know what I'm saying? But if you got it, you got it. Can't nobody take it away. Like you said, Rod, like you prayed for something when you was younger and you feel like you got it and the most high bestowed that upon you. We've all prayed for something when we was younger and the most high have given it to us. And then when I say we prayed for something, a lot of us prayed for things that were simple as children, not really understanding what we were praying for. And the most high might have given it to us and we forgot that we prayed for it. A lot of us forget, what we pray for.
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? And the most high bring you to a certain point, you're like, oh, well, I want this now, I want that. And you never stop and think, well, wait a minute, man, I prayed for this, what I'm experiencing right now. I need to be grateful. So, like, if the most high show you what your gift is, man, in whatever way you can utilize it to help people, utilize it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said something about that Monica song. I remember listening to, I think it was Music Soul Child. And this is funny. It was on a day in which I was doing like a basic fast, like I don't know, maybe like a 1 day. There might have been like the feast of excuse me, what's the holy day we fast on? Man,
Atonement.
Atonement. It was
Yeah,
Atonement, I
atonement.
think.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the song Love, by Music Soul Child. And then it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, man.
Yes.
This ain't no,
Yes. That's one of them songs. That is one of the
yeah,
ones I think about. It's saying love, but it's really describing the Most High
yeah. And I'm
and your
like,
and the
hold
personal
on.
relationship with the Most High. You 100. Yep. That's one of them
Yeah,
songs.
like this ain't no regular. And I knew it and I knew once I picked up the meaning of the song, I'm like, there was a reason I was listening to this song. This is one of the
Yeah.
messages the Most High wants me to take from on this fast and
Mm-hmm.
apply to my life. Like,
Mm.
but I got the backstory behind the song after the fact. Like he was trying to make it a gospel song or a song to God, and then the label told him like, no, you can't do it this way. You're gonna have to figure something out, and he figured it out.
Ah.
And word love. So it was like, man, this
Oh,
whole
because
time
God
I've
is
been
love.
listening, yeah, God is
Yeah.
love. So the whole time I've been listening to this song, and I'm like, man, I just now figured out. And this is after 10 years,
Mm.
10 plus years listening to the song, and the meaning finally hit. I'm like, man, that's so profound. But yeah, man, like get out there and use that gift, man. Because listen, even if people pick up on what you did down the line, like, cause now I could listen to this song, man, and it gives me a different feeling now. because I know he's talking about God. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
a point in song we say every day I live for you and
Right.
everything that I do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like some people will look up years down the line and realize, dang man, this person helped me, was trying to help me see this, or this person was trying to help me out of this situation, or this
Yeah.
person told me not to do this.
They'll look back. Hindsight is 2020, and
Right.
that's one thing too, man. I really had to learn when I first started, trying to preach the gospel
Right.
and tell people, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you start. I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of us we start teaching before we start living. You know what I'm saying? We get the gospel. We just got baptized yesterday. We still overcoming a lot of our lifestyle. We still changing, but we want to start preaching the
Hmm.
gospel, which is I think a little premature, but it's natural, right? You got something good you want to share with people. And so on something I learned early on in my walk is that you don't get the satisfaction of seeing the flower blossom. You know
Right.
what I'm saying. You tell a person the truth. You might more than likely you're not going to get the satisfaction of the person saying, "Oh, you right. I get it. I'm going to change my beliefs. I'm going to change my ways because of what you said." Because that will be very gratifying if I was to go
Right.
to a person and say, "Hey, man, Christ is the way. We got to put this down. We got to live this way." And, da, da, da. And they be like, "Man, you right. Yes." And then you like, "Man, I did it. I preached the gospel. I won a soul to Christ." Like that would be very gratifying. But it don't always happen like that. You know what I'm saying? More 9 or 10 times, especially when you're dealing with people who you know already. You plant seeds, but you're not gonna get to stick around to see the flower blossom. You know what I'm saying? If you come back, you might come back and see the tree there.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you can wonder, like, I wonder if that's the seed I planted, or did somebody else plant? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, one man planted, another man watered, but the Most High give the increase. It's
Increase.
not for us. You know what I'm saying? To necessarily reap the benefits of the apple tree we planted. We plant the apple tree for the people coming behind us,
Right.
and they get to
Trees take
reap
40
benefits.
years to
You know what I'm
grow
saying? Right.
sometimes.
So but you're thinking charity. How can I help other people? I planted seed with him. If I root this brother, even though I might not get the satisfaction of reaping the benefits of what he becomes and what he does and all that stuff, but people behind me will, and the Most High see that.
That's how
You
it
know.
is with raising your own children up, man. Like
Mm,
you might not get to see your child become everything that you want him to be, but his children will, and the people that live in this community will. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But you bestowing everything from yourself upon him, it's like I want you to be better than me. And like what Christ did, Christ went from city to city sowing seeds. And like
Mm-hmm.
you said, he even him when he went back to his own town, he couldn't heal and do a lot of the things
Yes.
that he wanted to
Yes.
do because people didn't have the faith. They
Right.
they looked at him as a person he was, he isn't it that carpenter's son? And then that came about with the famous verse, a prophet is not
Yeah.
without honor except in his own city.
Right. His
So
own hometown. Yep.
and and that reigns true in so many different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you talk about sowing seeds, man, oftentimes the family members and the friends, close friends, that's gonna come later. They want to see you live it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can
That's
go to
right.
another city and the person that see you might look at you, oh, he must have been living this out for a long time if he's
Right.
talking like this. But that family member, well, I seen
They
you
seen
go from
all the
this to
phases.
that.
They seen yeah,
Right,
they seen when you was this, when you was that, when you was into dinosaurs,
right,
and then you was into cars, and then you was into music, and then you
right,
was into poetry, and now you a Bible thumper. And what's
right,
next? This a phase. And
right.
I know I personally went through that.
Yeah,
A lot of
same
my
thing.
friends was like, okay, here you go. Because I was always doing me. I ain't gonna say something different, but I was doing me. I could put on something crazy. I'm like, hey man, what y'all think about it? They be like, bro, that's you. Like you always do you. You always doing something. Just doing something, doing you, doing whatever you want to do. So it don't really
Right.
matter what you do. Is you. And so when I started coming with this Bible stuff, people like, okay, that's you, because I was extreme. Like I was,
Yeah.
well, let me tell you something. They say the word is a sword. Hey, well, I was swinging that sword. You better duck. I'm coming
Yeah.
with it. And you know what I'm saying. And but I'm unexperienced. I'm dangerous
Right.
because I don't have the wisdom to yield this sword. I don't have the skills to yield this sword. Anybody can pick up a sword and swing it,
Right.
but you don't have the skill to use it, man. You're a danger to yourself and others.
Right.
And
You cut yourself.
yeah, I thought I saw somebody. Yeah, I was man, I was gung ho, you know what I'm saying? I was like like a child with a new toy. Well, I was ready to go. And so it took, man, literally took. I remember I told the story before, man, one of my best friends, man, I'm his son is my godson, right? And the story is kind of interesting because when I was 15, I preached the gospel to him. And he was raised in the church. His mother's husband was a pastor. They went to church every Sunday. He was there all day because he had to go before he had to be the first one there because his daddy was the pastor. And I preached the gospel to him. He got baptized in my church. I was in the Church of Christ. And I'm 15 years old. And he get
Mm.
baptized. He come to my church. He get baptized. And the preacher said to me, he said, how is it you bringing people to Christ? You haven't even got baptized yet,
Mm.
right? And it seemed like shortly thereafter, you know what I'm saying? I went left, completely left. I'm in doing stuff I ain't got no business doing, right? And you fast forward probably 8 years later, maybe something like maybe 10 years later, maybe 10 years. Um I want to get baptized. I didn't start searching for God again. I'm sitting there, man. I hear this sermon about, what it's like when people die and the 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 torment that they're going through. And one of the torments is that they're they're sitting in this place of destruction, this place of torment, and they cannot fathom how they went against God for that short period of time because you're gonna be in this place for all eternity. And I couldn't do right for 30 years, 70 years, 60 years, 50 years, 40 years. You know what I'm saying? People die at whatever age. And it's like,
Right.
and I realized I was gonna be one of those people because I was raised in the church. I was raised where I knew who God was. I knew what He was about. I knew I was supposed to be serving Him, but I wasn't. And so I was pricked in my heart, and I had to get baptized right then and there, which I couldn't. It was like 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. I don't know what time, but I
Yeah.
had to get baptized. So I'm like, I need to get baptized. I called my mama, uh, and I'm like, man, I need to get baptized like right now. She's like, well, we moved to a different city, and she was looking for a church home, and the church she was with, she was like, they do it every first and third Sunday or something like that. I don't know, something I never heard of. So I'm like, nah, can't do it. I might die today or tomorrow. I got to get baptized right now. So the next day, I got a ride to my hometown. Got dropped off at my cousin's house, and I went in the phone book and I looked up the preacher and I called him. I said, "Hey man, this kid, you remember me?" He's like, "Yeah." I say, "It's time." He said, "It's time." I said, "It's time." He said, "Meet me at the church in 15 minutes." And then who I called, because I didn't have a car. Right? I didn't got a car this time. I had to get to ride an hour to my hometown.
Yeah.
And who I called to bring me to the church? My partner who got baptized there when I was 15.
Mm.
And ironically, he picked me up with his stepdaddy, the preacher.
Yeah.
He picked me up, they picked me up, and they dropped me off at the church. And they picked me up after I got baptized. I went in there and got baptized right then and there. So it was interesting, that the whole dynamic. Now, I say all that to say that's the backstory, right? I say all that to say is this. So then I get baptized. So then I continue on my journey. About maybe, I don't know, 6 months later, bro, I'm Super Bible Man. listen, listen, man. Listen, man. I got. I'm packing Bibles like pistols, man. I got big Bibles, small, but I got Bibles in my. I'm not exaggerating. I got Bibles in my
Yeah, I know
pocket. I
everybody.
got one
I
in
know
my
a lot of
hand. I
people
got a
went through that.
bag with about $800 worth of books, $1,000 worth of books, and I'm walking around, bro. And I want it. I want all the smoke. I want to kill. I want to defeat the devil. I'm gonna save the world. Like, you know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
like Thanos out there.
I got that fire. I got that fire. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, man, I go back to my hometown. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm learning now, right? I know something now. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I knew a little something, but I ain't know enough to know how much I didn't know. But in my mind, I know something. I'm about to go and go to my partner because this is my partner who got baptized. And he took me like it's something there because how we get baptized in the same place 10 years apart, and I brought him and then he brought me. So I'm like I'm gonna go to my partner. I'm gonna chat with him what I know. I tell him everything I know, and then me and him we about to conquer this city. We about to
Yeah.
take our home city by storm. We about to win the whole city to Christ. It's about to go. We about to go to these churches and correct these pastors and all this stuff, right? So I go to my man's crib. I I bust down the bag, right? I bust down the bag. I lay out all the books. Man, I got 12, 15 books laid out on the floor, man. I got 2, 3 Bibles open. I got the Strong's Concordance open, man, and I'm hitting it with it. Bing, pow, pow, bing, boom, bop, boom, bop. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's it, man. It's the whole spiel. Let's rock. Let's do this. Like, cause I know he's gonna receive it the way I receive it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking back, I didn't send it the way it was sent to me.